call it insulin deficient type 2.
Okay.
Okay. So, so if it's in your family, by all means, keep your weight down, stay active, and avoid only eat carbohydrate that you're going to burn today.
Yeah, exercise is a big component. There we are looking at a gentleman, even if it's just beginning, stretching and then going for a walk. I mean, you think about the people who are sedentary and they don't even go for a walk. We want them to be able to move in any capacity.
Yeah, walking is great. Simple, cheap, and wonderful. Now I'm seeing a category of insulin deficient diabetics that have no family history. They're skinny, and they're in their late 80s and 90s. And they're becoming insulin deficient.
Why?
My thesis is they're outliving their pancreas.
Oh, wow.
They're outliving their islet cells.
So if we get to a certain point, we might get to that just because you're outliving?
Well, it's not real common, but I'm just noticing it.
Interesting.
And it's not well written about, but it's another category. But by all standards, the most common is type 2, and folks have that under control. They can put it into remission in most cases.
So when we are going to our doctor, and hopefully people are doing their annual tests, you're taking blood and lab test to check usually A1C, aren't you?
Yep. So the A1C is a great test. It was, it's a memory from my early training in medical school. A resident told me about this new test that it measures glucose that is stuck to the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the chemical in the red blood cell that carries oxygen. And the red blood cell lasts for 3 months. So a smart guy said, or gal, if hemoglobin attaches permanently to, if glucose attaches permanently to hemoglobin, the life of the red cell is 3 months. Maybe that gives us a measure of how well diabetes is controlled over 3 months. 24 hours a day, 7 day a week, 3-month measure of diabetes control. It's fabulous. He was right, it works. And it's wonderful. Keep it less than, from a population perspective, the National Panel of Smart Guys say keep it below 7. And actually there's a research project that said if you keep it below 7, your chances of complications go way down. But as an individual, I try to get people to get it to 6.5.
6.5. That's because that was my number, is to see. But if someone is nearing that, right, they're getting close, and you're like, well, we want to keep an eye on it, what can they do to reverse and get that number lower?
You mean if they're prediabetes?
Yes.
And prediabetes it's the same thing, it's just mild, right? Avoid carbohydrate like the plague unless you're going to burn it today. If you're a day laborer, if you have the great privilege of exercise during your work, you'll need some carbohydrate. But if you're like me, and this is my exercise, yammering, right?
You got to move more than the
I
mouth.
always take the stairs at the hospitals, but
Good point.
But
and park farther away.
Park farther away. That's right. Park as far away as you can.
Exactly.
Yeah. Burn the carbs you're going to eat today. Otherwise, protein and vegetables. Yep.
Yep, I was just going to say the type of food.
And stay active.
So there we go. We're looking at fish. We're looking at vegetables. And I know when someone goes and they're hearing, oh, gosh, darn it, Doc, I didn't want to be a diabetic. I don't want to be, having to monitor glucose levels. But I didn't do the things I'd have to do. What about healthy fats? So we're looking at almonds. We're looking at walnuts. We're looking at a little oatmeal. What are your thoughts on, are those good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Fat's much less the problem than carbohydrate.
Yes. So are you talking about carbohydrates from a process standpoint?
The simpler, the worst. And the simplest is the sucrose, two glucose molecules over there in your sugar bowl. But carbohydrate is a bunch of that, basically a bunch of that stuck together. Really
Sugars,
easy to metabolize.
Processed foods, sugars, things like that.
Yeah. So the more difficult it is for your intestines to take it apart and process it, the more energy it takes to do that, the better it is, the more fiber that's in it. And likely the content of that food has other stuff in it besides carbohydrate. Okay. That's the trouble with when you go into the grocery store and in the center that there's all that packaged stuff. The manufacturers...
Shop the perimeter.
There you go. The manufacturers know what we like.
Exactly. They're pulling you into the center.
Yeah. So it's all, they're concentrating the carbohydrate, and that's all bad.
Yep. Unless
you're really going to be, again, you're I pop into the gas station sometimes early in the morning and fill up and get a cup of coffee, and I notice the construction guys coming in, and they're buying those breakfasts, but they're going to burn it today because they're working, right? They're burning those calories.
They're buying the processed. It looks like it's meat. It's not really. I don't know what it is on those two buns. They're eating those breakfast sandwiches, and then they're filling up with huge coffees and a ton of sugar. I mean, we're trying to get rid of that.
I don't know.
But I know you're saying they're burning it off, but it's still.
Real men don't put sugar and cream in their coffee.
They just drink it black?
I think so, but I put cream in mine, so I'm not a real man yet.
Yes. All right, we're visiting with Dr. Charles Willey, Innovare Health Advocates, and we're talking about diabetes. If you have any questions, we're going to look at your comments. More with Dr. Willey when we return.
Hi, it's Monica Adams. Thank you so much for following along with The Real Monica Adams Show since we launched back in March. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that I could do with you, your business, your corporation. Did you know that I'm a motivational speaker all around the world, as well as an MC and an auctioneer? So if you have an event, maybe a nonprofit organization, and you want to book me, just shoot me an email, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Personal training, life coaching, and styling as well. info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com.
And welcome back. It is 7:22. We're visiting with Dr. Charles Willey with Innovare Health Advocates, and we're talking about diabetes today. Looking at some of your comments, my aunt had her foot amputated and my neighbor just had his leg below the knee amputated, both diabetic. Why did those sores not heal? How could that be avoided?
Oh, great question. The sores didn't heal because there wasn't enough blood flow into those limbs. Okay. Remember I said that the capillaries clog up because of the glucose creates inflammation in the capillary. That creates hardening of the artery in the capillary. The capillary is the size of one red blood cell, so it clogs up easy. Okay. So not enough blood flow. Then, and you mentioned neuropathy. The nerves are not working, so they don't feel well, and they'll stub the. If we stub our toe in the corner of a chair in the dark in the night on the way to the bathroom,
it hurts.
It hurts, but we feel it.
Yes.
And if you didn't feel it, you'd hit it even harder, create injuries they don't even know because they can't feel it. Because
you mentioned, in case you're just tuning in, Dr. Willey mentioned earlier that you lose that loss of sensation. You don't feel that, and it gets to a point that. I mean, as she's talking about, we've got a picture of an amputee. Obviously, no one wants to be an amputee.
So increased injury because of the decreased feeling, and then not enough blood flow to heal it. Okay, and then another thing, if the diabetes isn't controlled, your white blood cells stop working when the blood sugar is 200 or higher, roughly, right? So injury they don't know, blood that can't heal, gets infected easy because the white blood cells aren't there killing bacteria as soon as it comes in. Infection, can't heal it, gets deeper, gets in the bone, have to amputate.
Wow. And again, no one
preventable, yes, but by the time the amputation happens, not much. But that's why we're let's see, I'm trying not to be Karen, the Karen metaphor, but I'm nagging people. Beg, borrow, all the influence I can bring to help them, to get them to take care of their diabetes early, so that stuff doesn't happen.
Absolutely, and we showed the picture earlier about the way of eating, and I think you and I both detest the word diet. I'm not a big fan of actual diet. It's a way of life. It's a lifestyle. So you mentioned it earlier, but if someone is diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and they think that that's going to be a lifelong thing, not necessarily. Can we put it into remission? We
can put it into remission, and I don't say cure, because if a person with type 2 diabetes changes their diet and exercise, especially if they lose weight, their blood sugar can go back to normal. Their A1C can become normal again. So it's remission and not cure, because if they go back to the old ways and gain weight, it comes right back. Okay. So yes, you can avoid if you don't have the complications yet, you can avoid them by keeping it under really tight control. And I'm amazed at I have a few type 1 diabetics who are in their 40s and 50s and 60s, and they have no complications because they've been fastidious about controlling their diabetes the whole time, which has been difficult at most of their lives. The technology we have today makes it much easier to be under control as a type 1.
A lot of the people are saying what we were discussing. Someone said, my aunt has numbness in her feet, cannot feel when she gets a sore or an injury. Somebody said, what can you do for the numbness and the tingling in your feet?
Well, go find out what it's from. Diabetes is the most common cause. Most people who have numbness know they have diabetes, but some don't. It might be the beginnings. If they haven't seen docs much, haven't blood tested their blood, it might be the presenting sign. But it could be low vitamin B12. Cheap date, easy to fix, to get it tested, and if you leave your vitamin B12 low, by the way, it'll cause dementia.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so make sure your doc checks vitamin B12, at least once and every few years. But if the neuropathy from diabetes hasn't been there too long, and you get that blood sugar under control, it can go away. But once the damage is permanent, once the capillaries are clogged permanently, then it won't get better. You can certainly prevent it from getting worse. And it does go in gradation, subtle lack of sensation versus a severe lack. And there's a spectrum as the capillaries clog further and further.
And now, Dr. Willey, I know you mentioned in our last several shows that the majority of the population that you see, they're older, but you also, so what would be the youngest that you see? Because I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, can he become my doctor? I know there was a couple last week that said that they called to make appointments with you. But you do see all ages. It's just you have a population that is older, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I'm not a pediatrician.
Okay, yes. That's a good point.
And I make my wife change the grandbaby's diapers.
But your population might be in diapers, but there depends.
Uh-oh. Well, I've done that. I've changed that diaper.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah, that's called Code Brown. Sorry.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah.
So Kathy said it's important to check feet and toes daily to catch any sore or injury early, and also check your shoes. She said my dad was adamant about that, and her dad was in the diabetic world.
Yeah, if you're diabetic, the longer you've been, the less well controlled it's been. Absolutely. Keep a close eye on your feet. Keep your toenails, tidy, and have your shoes be generous. Make
They're
sure
not
you get
pushing up against.
Yeah, or the toes aren't too tight. When skin is on skin, it sweats. The good Lord put hair in most of those places, but between toes, they might not be. So make sure you clean, dry, and moisturize between those toes to keep that skin healthy. I don't get paid by the company that makes Eucerin, but I recommend it all the time.
For lotion, yep.
Yeah, to restore the body oil and stay hydrated. Hydrated.
So to recap everything that we've been talking about, if you know someone within your family that has diabetes, you have a predisposition, again, it's all about keeping yourself active, eating properly, hydrating. I mean, it's literally, I know it sounds like a broken record, but it's what we need to be doing.
It really is. And, the glory of it is, or the tragedy is, there's a lot of medicines being prescribed for diabetes, and many people have to have them at their stage of diabetes. But they could take less medicine, and some people could get off medicine if they really stop the carbohydrate. Much medicine being prescribed is to overcome the extra carbohydrate that a person is eating. And the top, if you go read about diabetes, first thing to do, proper diet and exercise.
Yes.
And then if it's still not under control, then start considering medication. And many they research everything. So what percentage of a population, if you motivate them for diabetes and for diet and exercise, will do it,
right,
and get it under control? Maybe it's like 10%.
The problem is, Dr. Willey, some people
will do more of it. They will need less medicine.
The problem is they do it, and then they all of a sudden go, okay, great, we got the number down where it needs to be, and then they go back to their old lifestyle, and then all of a sudden it's like this back and forth again. It's
tough.
Yes.
Because it's cultural. We eat for food is fuel, not entertainment.
Right.
But boy, do we eat for entertainment.
It's supposed to fuel us so we can live. Before we wrap up, I do want to talk, because we've mentioned it on the show with different guests, that a lot of people are being prescribed Ozempic, Was it Wegovy? I mean, there's several that are out there, but there are people who are taking it because they want to lose weight, and then all of a sudden the diabetic population didn't have their medicine that they needed. What's your viewpoints on that, and any comments on that?
Those are important. It is an important category of medicine for diabetes, and whether they're making enough to use it as a diet pill or not, it's probably worth on average 20 pounds, maybe 30. Cost if the cash customer $8,000 a year.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
so, because it's not covered by insurance. Most.
Are you going to?
Are there some that are covered?
Well, for diabetes,
but not for people who are.
Well, maybe if I was an insurance company, I don't know if I'd cover it for weight loss. Maybe temporarily, but they really need to change their lifestyle.
Yes.
I mean, are you going to take an $8,000 drug for 30 years to keep 20, 30 pounds off? Change your lifestyle.
Change your lifestyle.
And maybe you could use it as a starter, but you've got to change your lifestyle, and that's cultural. Because if whomever you live with, and cook for or cooks for you, and shops for or shops for you, you have to change all that.
Right.
Because it's really hard to do. I'll tell you what, if I'm looking at, eating my bacon and eggs in the morning without toast, if I'm staring at that toast, it's really hard not to eat it. But if it's not there, I don't even think about it.
So don't even buy it at the grocery store.
Don't buy it.
That's it. All right. Diabetes has been the talk today. Dr. Charles Willey. Again, the Ask the Doctor segment is every Monday. InnovareHealth.com is for you to find out more about Innovare Health Advocates. Again, 5 locations, both sides, on the Missouri and the Illinois side. And I love the fact that a lot of you are interacting each Monday, asking our questions. Dr. Willey comes up with the topics, but you could also say, hey, Dr. Willey, could you cover this on a future Monday? For that, you just email me, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. I'll get those over to him. You don't know what we're talking about next week, do you? Normally, we get it about midweek, but I can start letting you all know. This was a good one today because it affects so many people. You know what, real quick before we wrap up, what are you seeing maybe in the last 5 or 10 years with regards to the percentage of people that have type 2 diabetes? Because we talk about the onset of childhood obesity, and when I was in news, it was astronomical, the numbers that I saw. Is it about the same? Is it getting worse? Is it getting better?
I don't know that it's changed, but it is bad,
Yep.
and it is about obesity. Eating the wrong stuff, sedentary.
And you wouldn't want your children going through that. So it's all you're the one buying the food. By the way,
I love the gadgets, but no exercise doing this, right?
Just your finger.
Yeah, yeah. And if they're eating the high carbs, they're creating diabetes early. So it's all bad.
Well, the big part that we mentioned is eating better, hydrating, movement. The exercise part is what we're going to be talking about next. One more time, InnovareHealth.com. Dr. Charles Willey will be back with us next Monday with Innovare Health Advocates. And yes, he is taking patients. I know people have asked me that. If you're not happy with your physician, you love this man, you're going to fall in love with him over the next several months. He has been someone that I have treasured and has actually worked for and helped seniors for many, many years. So if you're looking for a new physician, I highly recommend that you reach out to them. Just go to the website, InnovareHealth.com. You'll see the phone number on there, and then find the location for you. Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Great.
You're going to actually know my next guest. She used to work with you.
Yeah.
Oh, you know that?
And her mother still does.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So Brittany Wilson and Brock Wilson, they own Force Performance in Brentwood. So we're going to tie all this together. If you need to start moving, you need to start exercising. And I can't personal train you because I can't take on everyone. Brock and Brittany might be able to do so. We're going to talk about their story, and it's an incredible one. They will be in the blue chairs when we return.
It's the icing on the cake.
The final brush stroke.
The finishing touches make all the difference in your home, too.
Have fun and get started at carolhouse.com/room planner.
With thousands of accessories in our 3.5-acre showrooms.
Get your picture perfect room and the lowest prices in the country at Carol House.
Because you like nice things.
Of course, it's great to get outside and enjoy the warm weather, but when it's time to relax indoors, be sure your home stays cool with equipment and service from my friends at Aldon. 24-hour emergency service available at Aldon. It's their commitment to continue providing above and beyond HVAC service for all of their customers. They truly care about the air you breathe. Call them today at 314-567-5585 or on the web, aldon.com. That's al-don.com. 314-567-5585. Hi, it's Monica Adams. Thank you so much for following along with The Real Monica Adams Show since we launched back in March. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that I could do with you, your business, your corporation. Did you know that I'm a motivational speaker all around the world, as well as an MC and an auctioneer? So if you have an event, maybe a nonprofit organization, and you want to book me, just shoot me an email, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Personal training, life coaching, and styling as well. info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com.
All right, welcome back, 7:36. Thank you so much again for tuning in. The Real Monica Adams Show, and we couldn't do this without all of you following over the last several months, and of course, all of our sponsors. Thank you to Innovare Health Advocates, to Dr. Sarah Franco with Invita Health and Wellness, Aldon Indoor Air Quality Specialist, Carroll House Furniture, where our set is from, Clayton Winehouse came on board, and Kathy Kilo Peterson, State Farm Agent. Thank you so much, Kathy, for all that you did, and by the way, thank you for the invite to the big fall barn party that we had over the weekend. That was so much fun. Too bad that the rain was there, because I think they only had a chance to take the kids out for a trail ride once until the storms came. But kkilo.com, if you're looking for a new State Farm agent, you can check her out, kkilo.com, and Kathy Kilo Peterson. So again, to all of you, thank you for the hundreds of thousands of you that have been watching since March 1st. In 28 days, we hit 1 million reach. That blew my mind, or did it? Oh, it's got to chill. Did I know that all those 30 years in TV and radio, that what the world really wanted was positivity? Wanted to feel hope, wanted to feel what was out there for them, what they could become. And we want you to dream big. You're going to hear yourself in today's story because it runs the gamut. These are some very, very dear friends of mine that I've only known within the last few years, but that's what I want you to look for. True friends, real people who will be there to lift each other up. And this friendship, well, it went fast from the very first time I met them. Let me bring them on. Brock and Brittany Wilson, as well as Lucas. We get a little bonus here. Thank you both for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So the two of them, they own Force Performance, but we're going to tell the story long before that dream, because it was a dream that was festering, and now all of a sudden it became a reality. But how do you ever get to that point? Because a lot of people, they might follow the two of you on social media, and they're like, oh, they've got it all going for them. I mean, first of all, look at them. They're beautiful people, and look at him. He's looking at himself. That's you with the skeletons, Lucas.
Good-looking man.
Yes. So you know he's going to grow up to be a good-looking young man as well. I think a lot of times, and I've said this on the show before, people stereotype, right? They look at the two of you and they're like, oh, they have no issues. They've got no problems. And that's farther from the truth, right? Yeah. Couldn't be any farther from the truth. Yeah. You've all been there. You both have been there. We're going to separate the two of them. I actually first did the story on both Brock and Brittany back when I was at Channel 2. Mm-hmm. And we talked about depression, substance abuse, suicide. These are all real topics. And we just mentioned what happened with Matthew Perry. He had those demons for a long time. You know his life, Brock. Well, yeah. You know about, not Matthew, but you know that life.
Yeah, I know that life. I struggled for a long time. Even like when I was playing hockey. And after that, just constant battles. Still battle.
That's the interesting thing. I saw a post that you had, and I'm so glad that you wrote that, because you said it's not like it never happens anymore. You go to darkness, you go to sadness, and sometimes you don't even know why.
That's the thing. Like I think we have this idea that once we get through the darkness, it's done. And it's extremely false. Like I continuously struggle like every day. It's one of those things where I never fully get through it, and it's just accepting that and understanding that and trying to make sure your highs aren't too high and your lows aren't too low. And that's really what I try to do on a daily basis.
Brock Wilson, by the way, is the son of former St. Louis Blue, Rick Wilson, and a lot of the things that you went through and the demons that maybe come back into you is from the loss of your father 7+ years ago.
Yeah, I think it was about 7 years ago.
January?
Yeah, it was sudden. He was 53 years old, had a brain aneurysm. So it was difficult.
Well, he was
Still
your best
is.
friend.
Yeah.
Is that where a lot of the darkness came from? Or so the story I did on you was from that point.
Yeah.
But prior to that, did you deal with anything?
Yeah, I just, I was a minor league hockey player. Never really amounted to the athlete I wanted to be. So it was always a struggle. I grinded out in the minors for years and years. And I was never my dad. And a lot of my buddies were, either playing the NHL or getting like top-notch scholarships. I was just kind of a run-of-the-mill player. So I just always struggled with that. I struggled with my identity. I didn't necessarily love the game. It was all I knew. I grew up around it, and really that's what I did. I just played hockey. So it was way before that. I just think I was able to mask it. And then when he passed, I lost control.
By the way, what a powerful word that man just said. Masking is one of the most dangerous things.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because we all do it, right, Brittany? We all do. Women will mask and say, oh, I'm going to put on this happy face. I'm going to do my hair, do my makeup, and there's nothing going wrong.
Right.
You dealt with your own issues, right? You had been married. You were so into fitness, and the person that you were married to didn't necessarily support that. And you were like, well, this is my life, right? You had to make a difficult decision. And then here you are, a single mom, which is not an easy thing.
No.
You were a single mom, not anymore, by the way. She was a single mom. We'll tell the happiness in just a second. But talk about, I know that in the stories that I've done with you in the past, every day you would wake up, you would also cry, and you would think, how am I going to do this?
Yeah, it was hard, especially luckily he kind of pushed me through knowing I had to do it for Lucas, and I had to provide for us and do what I could. So it was get up in the morning, get dressed, go do what I could do, put a happy face on, and kind of push through anything that I was feeling until I was alone again and then was able to feel. But yeah, you just mask it and do what you can.
Look at, he's so cute. How old was he when you were a single mom?
He was about 1.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So,
and that's trying to figure it all out. First of all, just any mom, you're like superheroes to me, by the way. Any mom, because there's no book that says how to do this. and you're young, and you're taking care of a 1.5-year-old all by yourself.
It was, I didn't have money for daycare, so anywhere I would go, he would go, or my grandma would luckily watch him. Luckily, I worked at gyms that had daycare, so he could go to the daycare while I coached for the day, or he would come to meetings with me. So, he's been just with me the whole way.
If you're just...
Oh, Lucas.
Hey, you know what? In all my years of being in TV and radio, they always said, it's always fun when you have kids or pets on set, because you never know what you're going to get.
Never a dull moment.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking with Brock and Brittany Wilson, and we're talking with Lucas as well. We are mentioning so many aspects of their life that they've dealt with that maybe some of you as well. If you have any questions, by the way, or comments or thank yous for Brock and Brittany for being real, please feel free to comment, and I'll keep an eye on those for you. Let's talk about, we're going to separate them first before they get together. So, Brittany first. I love to look back at who you were and who you became and who you're still becoming. So the girl on the left, let's talk to her. If you could talk to her and change who she was, what would you say to her?
I would tell her she's, this stuff makes me emotional. That she's worth more.
To know your value, right? Yeah. So at the time, Britt, why did you think you weren't worth more?
I don't know, really.
Did someone say you weren't? A lot of people are bullied. Did you ever go through anything?
No, I think it was just my own mentality of I kept trying to achieve a thought in my mind. If I could do certain things or look a certain way, that I would be happy, I guess, with who I was, or find value in who I was. So I kept trying to make myself, as many girls do, we try to make ourselves smaller, thinking that that's the answer. Or at that point in my life, I really didn't know who I was still. So I think I was still struggling to find who I wanted to be, my voice. And it to me, I don't know her.
Right. Do you look at that picture and say, gosh, was that really me?
Yeah.
So how old are you, by the way, in that picture?
Approximately. One of my best friend's weddings. I think I was 22.
22, and you're now
33.
I was going to say 31. Wow, really? 33?
Yeah.
So I've known you longer than I thought I have. Okay, so 22 to 33, right? So we look at this transformation. I also remember doing the story with you, and I don't know whether it was when I was at 2 or 5, but or maybe it was when I was on my Thursday night class, because you joined me on my life coaching class. And I asked you, and you said, wow. Powerful question, Monica. I don't think I've ever thought. And your answer to me was yes. My question to you was, did you have an eating disorder? And you said, I think I did.
Yeah.
But never really putting that eating disorder in the fact that, was it anorexia? Was it bulimia?
I would probably label anorexia. And binge eating. I mean, during the week, I was tracking my food. I was eating maybe 600 to 800 calories a day during the week.
And doesn't that blow your mind now?
Yeah.
Well, let's just say, by the way, so you eat about how many calories in a day now?
Oh, probably 2,400 plus.
But that is a powerful transformation to ever be able to get there. So all the people who are struggling, Brittany, to think, well, it scares me to think if I eat a little bit more, maybe I'm going to be fat, or I look in the mirror and I'm so scared. I mean, the struggle that women go through, they don't want to eat and they get on the scale about 50 million times in a day. It's all this crazy stuff that goes through our minds. How did you ever get to that transformation?
I tell people I'm still there. Like, I still have those thoughts. I still have to remind myself that my food is fuel and that, eating less doesn't equate to anything and my weight doesn't equate to anything, and reminding myself I feel better now than I ever did the smallest I was, and that I feel stronger, I can move more weight, I have more energy, my hair, my nails, my skin, like everything is so much better. But those thoughts still creep in. But you just learn to remind yourself why you choose the better route.
Absolutely. And that's something that we talk about on a regular basis. When we personal train, I've been in this business for 26 years. You've been a trainer how many years?
20 years plus.
Yep. And same?
Yeah, 18.
Right. So we get it, and we know that it is not just about one facet. It's not just about the working out. It's about eating and learning how to eat, how to fuel the body. It's about hydration. And it's all about these things. This is the number one thing, that's why I came up with the triangle of life theory, because it has to be mental, it has to be the spiritual side, and it has to be the physical side of putting it all together, or it's never going to work. Here, the two of them are both saying that every single day, your mind will play so many tricks on you and try to force you down some deep, dark paths, and you have to try to right that ship again. You both have been there. So that's the separation point. But we did show a picture, by the way, of that transformation. So then all of a sudden, Brittany becomes this sponsored champion athlete, and Lululemon, by the way, right? Give her a round of applause. I was so proud of you when the Lululemon thing happened. So if they go into the West County location,
Frontenac.
Yes. Sorry. The Frontenac location, they will see her. She's an ambassador for them. What does that mean to you? Like, again, we went back and talked to that 22-year-old, and now look at how far you've come.
Yeah. That's just my goal, is to hopefully inspire other women and girls that strong's beautiful, not skinny.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I grew up, fortunately, and I do feel blessed for this, I grew up loving the sport of bodybuilding. For women, when it actually looked the way you look, right? It's that feminine, but muscles are sexy, right? Guys do like muscles on girls. Say it, Brock.
Yes, they do. Absolutely.
So I look back at when I was in love with the sport, it was Rachel McClish, and it was Corey Everson, and then it just got really, really big, and then people were on steroids, and then I was like, never mind. Let's just try to do this natural. And then it became so many facets of fitness competitions and all these things to see what the body can do. You've watched your body transform and these muscles. And here's what I love. Do you remember by chance about how the lowest your weight was?
115.
115, and you're 5'9", aren't you?
5'8", yeah.
5'8",
Yeah.
115, and you weigh now what?
142.
Yeah, look at that. But if you would tell that person on the left, hey, you're going to be 140, it would probably freak you out back then.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're like, no way. Not
No
doing
way.
that. No way. So I told you I was going to separate the two of them. And then Brock, we've got some pictures of Brock just kind of staring off, which makes me just think that's the mental side of always righting your ship, right? You said that you go through some dark times, but look at the happiness on your face because of your own transformation.
Yeah, I remember that too.
That was our first.
That was our first date.
Official
our
date.
First official
as
date.
a couple.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we went on a
Where
hike.
is that, by the way?
Castlewood.
Hiking.
Yeah.
What a great date to do, by the way.
Brock
Yes,
actually
move.
hates hiking, so
You don't like hiking,
Yeah, I'm not a big hiker.
he pretended that one day.
but you
I
liked
do it.
her.
I like her, so I'll go.
So there's also a picture, and I actually changed up a bit because I was really scrolling, looking back pictures of Brock and Brittany long before I ever met them, and it was interesting to see. I didn't know you were a D1 trainer.
Yeah, I was a D1 for a little bit.
Yeah, didn't know that. I went back looking through a ton of things, but what I ended up finding was how I knew the two of them met. So we have a picture that says by Britt Phelps, because that was her name before they got married. That's the article that you did on him, right?
Yeah.
So I had never, when you sent me the picture
Oh.
without the front, and I'm like, nope, I want to give her props. So you were writing for a fitness magazine?
Yes.
And you did a piece on him.
I did. I was researching. I had to write articles about interesting people in St. Louis that were making an impact. And I came across Brock and thought he was just so cool. And I had to interview him. And really, he did work with special needs. He was a coach. I ran into the article about his dad playing for the Blues. And that was before I knew he even passed. But I just thought he was so cool. And so
Well, thank you.
had to interview him.
What in that article really stood out to you about what she wrote about you?
Just how nice she was about me. Like it was just different sitting back and reading something that somebody else had written about me, just about my life. Because sometimes I don't stop and think about the things that I do. Mm-hmm. And you just get caught up in just doing. And to sit back and just kind of read her perspective of me, it was just, I don't know, it was really nice to see that.
Well, and I think it's also an important point because I'm very big, and with my clients that I talk about the importance of journaling, and you have to see the written word sometimes to actually let it absorb and feel like, is this really who I am? Whether it's spoken by someone else or the journaling of yourself is opening your soul to say, this is who I am. This is really who I am. Mm-hmm. Not those, yes, it might be fleeting moments, maybe. I mean, I'm hoping the darkness doesn't come in as often as it used to for you.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I struggle with, is just seeing myself through the eyes of who I was. Mm-hmm. And I go to therapy and all that. That's one thing we work on, is just being graceful to myself, just giving myself some grace and realizing that's not who I am anymore.
Right.
I'm a new person, and I'm doing a lot of good things. So
Yes.
I've come very far.
You have, both of you.
It's hard sometimes to just stop and actually think about it.
Well, I think it's interesting also because, we've talked in the past about what you went through after your dad passed, substance abuse. Yep. You tried to take your life on 2 occasions, but the good Lord above thankfully saved you.
Yeah, it was a really difficult time. Just really struggling, and I thought about it for actually quite some time, and just had decided that I was going to do it. And one of my good friends, Derek White, had said it was a good thing I wasn't a Boy Scout, and we could joke about it. But
I get it.
It's one of those things where God was with me that day.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't ready for me to be done. Mm-hmm. So I am very, very grateful. Sometimes I think about it all the time. We were talking about it the other day, and I would have never had any of this.
Right. And this is a really powerful, I just got a crazy chill right now. This is a powerful moment for you all to listen to because people are either watching this live right now or I want you to share this like crazy so that it reaches. I always say if we can just reach one, and I know that we're reaching more than that, but just one, if we can save one life, just imagine about this beautiful change that has happened. You're in this place twice, not once, but twice, Brock, of thinking the world would be better without me.
Yeah, and it was never going to end. It was never going to get better. There's so many different thoughts. And like I said, I try and tell people, no matter how bad it is right now, how dark it is, there's hope and there is light. It's not going to last forever. And that's the problem when you're in it. You think it's going to last forever. And like I said, I never saw any of this.
Oh, no.
Any of it.
Wow. And that's what I was just going to ask you. Would you have ever seen this playing out? Would you deserve it, my friend?
No.
I mean, what an incredible transformation from this woman to this bonus son to you two having a baby. We're going to talk about that. We're going to take a break. I'm going to give him a Kleenex. Oh. We've got a lot to talk about of the change that has happened to these these three deserving human beings. I love you both so much. We've got so much more to talk about, again, with Brock and Brittany and Lucas when we return.
Think about this. When's the last time you called your doctor at 2 o'clock in the morning and he actually answered? Well, at Innovare Health Advocates, their patients are special. Their doctors, nurse practitioners, their care team care deeply about your health, your family, your work, and even your pet. Their clinicians are accessible and they lead your care in and out of the hospital. In fact, Dr. Charles Willey offers his cell phone number to his patients to ensure they can intervene early in your illness. They can provide care above and beyond, offering lab, x-ray, echocardiogram, and other treatments in their office. Innovare Health Advocates with 5 locations on both sides of the river. Check them out, InnovareHealth.com.
55. It is the Real Monica Adams Show. And if you're just tuning in, we are talking with Brock and Brittany Wilson. Lucas is now sitting in the corner over by our other skeletons. Oh,
No.
He might come back. He's... You can hear him. So we're talking about so many things. And if you see yourself in these stories, please, you can say thank you. You can say I've been there. You might have questions for them. I will let you know. I'll let them know, of course, if there's anything that you have had to say. Brock and Britt are the best and cannot thank them enough for that. For what they've done for my kids, Brock and Jillian, since meeting them. Brock and Britt are not just our trainers, they are family, and we love them. That's from Brian. Sherry, of course, is saying hello. A little smile to you. Let's see. CBS Sunday Morning yesterday just did a story about living in the shadows and how to live and accept that role. Like the sax player for many top-named artists, backup catcher in the major leagues, etc. It was an amazing insight to these roles. Such a very hard struggle. Thank you for sharing your stories, Brock and Brittany, and for being real. Exactly, but we need to know more of this because, as I said, there are so many people in all walks of life that are there. I had mentioned that, there's an athlete who suddenly is not the high school quarterback anymore. Yeah. They're no longer the professional athlete. But it also goes to the CEO of a company, a president of a company. Suddenly when that title's stripped away, they feel like they lose their identity, and it's a very dark, scary place for them to go. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what we're talking about and what role. A lot of people see themselves in this.
I think that's one of the things I tell my athletes too is your identity is not you as a football player or a hockey player. It's you as a person. Mm-hmm. So I consistently try and hammer on that because, again, most athletes, that's what they struggle with. Like when it's done and it's over and the lights are out, they don't know who they are anymore.
Right.
And that's where they really struggle.
And if they could, and I'm so glad that you're teaching them at a younger age because they have to understand that that's just a hat that you put on. Yeah. Who are you as a human being? Yeah. Right? What are you providing to yourself first and foremost, and what are you providing to the world? Yeah. That's just a bonus of who you are. If they can separate that in their brain, that would be a great thing. So we're going to look at some things here. We've got videos and we've got pictures. So we showed you a little bit about who Brittany was solo, who Brock was solo, and then picture-wise, the two of you start dating. You finally date her because she was like, "Come on, give me a chance here." But I understand why. You didn't know that. In your mind, you didn't think you were good enough for her.
I was not good enough. I didn't trust myself. I didn't think I was good enough. I don't know. I just thought she was too good for me.
But then you say yes, and then you guys start BB Fit, which I love. Mm-hmm. These are the online programs you guys started.
Yes.
And that was how long ago?
Oh, that was 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
3.5 years ago? Yeah.
Do you still do that?
Not once we opened Force. We kind of put that on the back burner just so we could fully focus on Force. But we've been talking about 2024 starting back online. Yeah.
People love that. Well, and before you ever did BB Fitness, you had Fit with Brit?
Yes.
Yes. So the online aspect and reaching all over the world is something that the two of them knew. You had a dream then. We have a picture of the two of you. There he is. Lucas is back. The two of you had a dream about opening up your own gym. And so we've got a picture of the construction aspect. I remember coming over. Actually, Brock wasn't there that day, but when they were kind of progressing through it, I came over before it was officially opened. And this is in Brentwood. What's the square footage of your space?
6,300.
6,300?
Yeah.
But did I just see a little sneak peek of, did you push into next door?
Yeah, we're expanding a little bit, about another I think it's about 1,000 square feet.
A little over
bit.
1,000, yeah.
So about 7,300 square
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah.
What are you doing over there?
We aren't like full sure. We for sure will have recovery, so cold plunges, infrared saunas. I've always had a little dream of having a little coffee shop.
Of
area,
course you have.
so a
I
little
see her
cafe.
regularly, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
She and I bump into each other at Coma downstairs.
Oh yeah, we live there. So something, a little self-serve cafe for the members, and then we still have some extra space to play with. So kind of figuring that out.
I was
lot of
looking for
things.
some breaking news here. So you open the dream, and we've got some pictures and some video of when you open. There's the two of you in the space, which
Yeah.
is stunning. I had an opportunity to train there for a little while. My schedule is nuts, and I still, my clients loved it. It is a beautiful space. So if you're looking for a place to really belong, and I don't mean to just come and work out, because it's not an open gym. You run classes, you teach your athletes there, you
Yeah.
have private training as well, but it's really a community that you've built.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're most proud of since you've opened your doors.
Oh, our members for sure. They're just outstanding. They make the gym what it is. We don't have to ask them for anything, and new people come in and they welcome them. They take it upon themselves to explain the classes to them, to help them throughout the class. I just feel extremely grateful for every person that we have there.
I'm proud of her.
I know you are, and I love that about
I'm proud
you.
of her. What she's been able to do as a strength coach is second to none. It's been unbelievable to sit back and just watch her do what she does, and she's so passionate about not only coaching but the relationship she has for people there, and it's been amazing to see her. Like, I really am. I'm so proud of her.
How much have the two of you changed each other in your training?
Oh, a ton. I feel like I've learned so much from Brock, just in the sense of, I mean, I was just learning strength training when we kind of first met, like getting myself into weights and things, but he's just really pushed me to want to be better at it and further my education in it. So just knowing him and being around him, I've just wanted to be better at it.
And how has she changed you?
Oh, she's just changed me in a lot of different ways. I mean, I watch her dedication to her people, and the commitment to it. And it's like, there's days where, I'm not feeling so great, and I look over to her and she's just giving her all. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, when I look at, her high intensity and her high performance days, like, I've never seen anybody be able to take a program and do what she does and be so innovative and creative with it. Like, she's written almost a year and a half of workouts, and not one's been the same. Like, I mean, she does things like Battleship and cards, and it's just, sometimes I just sit back and, like, I wish I was that creative. To me, it's like watching her, it's an art form.
Well, and you have to, maybe, because any of us that know that we, first of all, are blessed, right? That you have a lot of choices out there. So to trust him, her, myself with your life, because it really is, what can we do? What can we transform? You also have to make it fun. And that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because again, there are other trainers they could go to and they'll be like, I don't like this.
Right.
Or that person doesn't really care about me. It infuriates me. And I almost took a picture the other day when I was in the gym, and I'm like, never mind, Monica. It happens. I'm trying to save the world, but I a little bit at a time. I cannot stand the trainers that do this. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, you're doing great. Really? They just hurt themselves.
They need your help.
Would you please pay attention to them? Yes, it's so frustrating. But it's also why I hope that you'll never stop being in this business, because it is, and honestly, people have asked me, hey, okay, Monica, if you can't take me on, who would you tell to go to Brock and Brittany? I have a very few select trainers, and it's because I'm very picky, and I have very high standards of who I would want to send you to. I would absolutely trust your life with the two of them. It's beautiful to watch. So for those that have never been to Force, so Force Performance again is in Brentwood. You want to give them your information so how they can get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, our address is 1250 Hanley Industrial Court, Brentwood, Missouri. You can call us at 636-284-1726 or visit us online at stlforceperformance.com.
Yes, STL Force. And again, this is the gym.
Good job.
So if they're wanting to work out, your classes are at what time?
We have classes Monday through Saturday. Monday through Friday, we have 5, 6, 7 a.m. We have a noon, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then our evenings are 3:30, 4:30, and 5:30. And Saturdays are 8 and 9.
And then you also, every once in a while, you incorporated some yoga, I think on a Sunday,
Yes.
a couple times.
Yes.
And then it's not just the working out aspect, though. It's all the other things that you have been doing. You did a fundraiser, I know. They're very big, thankfully, on supporting our police.
Yeah.
You're also big dog lovers. And you might see Echo there sometime. He is a...
Belgian Malinois.
But you're training
Protection
him.
dog.
Protection
Yeah,
dog.
family protection
I didn't
dog.
want to say he's not a protection dog. And who is he trained by?
Peacemakers.
Peacemakers. Yes. And I love, so you'll get a chance. I want you to follow them, by the way, because you'll enjoy to see everything. Lucas, you'll see Echo, you'll see the community play out. And it's just the love and the passion you have. But why? Why a protection dog?
Honestly, they're just a dog with a purpose. We knew we wanted a dog. And I mean, I've always wanted one since I was little, just a dog that would listen and be trained and well behaved. And we met Andy through, gosh, that was so long ago.
First Form.
It was First Form. It was
Yep.
one of their walks for Blake Schneider, and he had a dog with him. And the dog started following Brock. And we're just like, oh, that's so cool. And he started explaining the dogs to us and how he could match a dog with us and train it. And he got Echo for us when he was 6 weeks old. And he could not have found a more perfect dog for us. So he's just an added bonus to the family. He is a normal dog at home, but we feel extra safe with him around.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can look at him and think he's intimidating, but then he's a big goofball.
Big baby.
He's very special.
How old is he now?
He's almost 3.
Almost 3.
Yeah.
So they just said he's a bonus to the family. Yes. And that is the next part of where we go. So we've talked about them solo. We've talked about some hard times, but I always want to bring the positivity and the happiness to you. So they went from solo to getting engaged, and then they got married. This is them solo. So this is actually just Brittany with Lucas.
Yeah.
Look how young he is, by himself. And then Brock, before you get married, you get a bonus. I mean, I think this is something that's really important to talk about. Having a bonus son and he having a bonus dad. What does that mean to you?
Oh, I can't even explain it. Don't make me cry. I say it over and over. He and her are my angels. Like he's been my best friend. I can't put it into words what it's been like to be able to grow with him, and just when he hugs me and just looks at me and tells me he loves me. I never thought I'd experience anything like it in my life, and it's just he's my best friend. And now he's taking up hockey, so we're getting even closer, right, buddy?
Yeah.
Are you my best friend?
Thank you.
Okay, yes, we're going to talk about that in just a second. Yes, I remember when he was constantly just enamored with watching Brock and watching Brock coach and being around that. Well, you're a big hockey fan, so I think, didn't you kind of hope you'd be a hockey mom?
I mean, hockey's my favorite sport,
Yeah.
so yes.
I thought I was done
It's an
with
expensive sport, by the way.
I thought I
Especially when he
was
wants
done
to
with it.
Oh, gosh, no.
He wants to be goalie too, so.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I love it. So you get the bonus, you get married, and he's there. And look at that. I love that. That's in Naples, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's when they get married. But you also, didn't you get married again? Did you renew your vows?
I did already, yeah.
Already. They're so romantic and so in love they want to do it again. I want to renew my vows for our 10th, but they did it. Was it like your second?
Our
Third?
third.
Third.
Come on now.
Let's do it again. Why did you want to do it again?
Just to make it, I don't know. We love each other so much, so any chance we get to express ourselves, we do it. And we were going down, and he surprised me with it, honestly. He
You're
planned
so
it all
romantic.
out, and he wanted to redo on his vows. So.
Yeah, I did a really bad job the first time, just like I did proposing. So I thought I was going
How
to
did
wing
you
it.
propose? Do I know this story?
Oh, well.
Oh, wait, look.
You got it?
You want to hear it?
Yes,
you
I
go
do.
ahead.
So she did an interview on me, obviously, and wrote that in the article. And we met at Starbucks. So my whole plan was take her to Starbucks and do an interview on her, and then at the end ask her to marry me. Well, the whole week I'd had the ring. I'm sweating bullets. I'm anxious. I was so off that week. So we're sitting on the couch, and she goes, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And I just started crying. I started crying. I was in sweatpants. I had my shirt off, and I go, "You know what? Forget it." I just dropped down to one knee, and I go, "Will you marry me? I love you." And she's like laughing at me. I'm just like, oh. Here.
I did not know how you got
Oh
engaged.
yeah, yeah.
You're like, let's just do this.
And then our vows. I mean, I was like, all right, I'll wing it. I'll be fine. I'll speak from the heart. I'm usually pretty good at that.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I saw her, I couldn't stop crying.
Yep.
Like I cried pretty much the whole ceremony. I'm a crier.
Well, I know. But I love that about you. You know what? And thank you, by the way, for being that and being raw and being authentic. And one of the things, I have a video of you that I love that I pulled of you showing failure. Thank you, by the way, for doing that. We'll come back, actually, 'cause let's go ahead and flip for a second. We'll come back to everything that's happened since they got married. But just recently, Brock posted a video of not once, not twice, but 3 failures, and you were like, stop sugarcoating social media that everything's so beautiful and perfect, because that's real. Can we show that video, by the way? There we go. So is this just recent?
Yeah, this was just recent.
That was like last week.
Fail 1?
Yeah.
Fail 2? Ugh. Some expletives, I think, were thrown there. We
Like,
actually
I'll
took
do it
those out. And fail 3. But then I think you wanted to redeem yourself, so you went in and did some leg presses.
Yeah, I
Yep,
did some leg
yep.
presses later on in the day.
Redemption.
So
How much, I mean, seriously, hold on, though. How much weight is on that?
that was 715.
Okay, this guy and this girl, by the way, push and pull some serious weight. For you, that's when you just go and the testosterone takes over.
Yeah.
You're like, I want to move heavy things.
I just go to a dark place.
Yeah.
Have you been able to?
Not that.
No.
I've done it once. It was just one of those days. I thought I was feeling good and went to go do it, and I was like, you know what? I'll try it again. And I show a lot of highlight reels on Instagram, like
Yes.
we all do.
Yes.
And I don't show enough of that, and I think it's important for people to see that because they think, okay, every day I go to the gym, I'm gonna hit a PR. Well, no,
No.
it's not like that. It's not
No.
even close.
And and so
Not even close.
So he's saying it, but Brittany, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
How important is it for people to see something like that?
Oh, super important. Just 'cause, like you said, if everybody sees your highlight reel, then when they fail, why are they going to attempt again? But it's like it's a continuous effort you put in every day.
Yep. Yeah, I want you to be able to see that there are more failures than there are successes. And one of the things I want to be known for when I'm no longer here is this particular statement. The greatest accomplishments come from the darkest places. The greatest accomplishments come from over and over and over failures. Remember that. But there is success and there is hope and there is possibilities. You just have to believe in yourself and have to value yourself enough. That's the biggest thing. All right, we're going to take one more break. When we come back, we're going to say what's happened since they got married. This unbelievable announcement that just recently happened when we return.
Invita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Invita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Invita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Invita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online InvitaHealthandWellness.com.
Come here, rascal.
Welcome back. It is 8:12. I had mentioned earlier that we were going to go on longer today because I had so much that I want to help affect your lives. Again, if you want to make a comment, anything that you see yourself in, please let me know. Somebody said real men aren't afraid to cry. It's true. Show emotions. Be strong and then show weakness, because it's what we all want to see. We want to see that you're human. So Marilyn said, it hurts to see your pain, Brock, but look into the eyes of your loved ones. You and your family are added to my prayer booklet, so you'll be thought about every day as I pray for the light and your strength to continue on your journey to living life to its fullest.
Thank
So
you.
sweet. Thank you so much. So, well, some beautiful things have happened, by the way. So he does believe and she believes. They got engaged. They get married. He gets the bonus son. He gets the bonus dad. They have this dream. They build it and they come, right? If you build it, they will come. You know that. They built it, they come, and then some. I mean, you should see the amount of community that's coming out of Forced Performance. And it's just dream and dream and dream. And see, my chills are there. Bigger and bigger and bigger. Then what I had hoped for them, and I actually wrote to Brittany and I said, I knew it. I felt something. And she goes, it's so weird, Monica, because so many people at the gym said the same thing. You announce, that you're pregnant?
Yes.
And this, you're what, 16 weeks?
17.
17
Yeah.
now. 17 weeks along. So we're going to show the fact that they were keeping a secret. And so the baby's due in April of 2024.
Yep.
And there's the little nugget. Lucas, how big is the baby? What size?
About like the size of an onion.
About the size of an onion, he said. There they are telling Lucas. Okay, then it's a real beautiful video after that. There is a video of you two in the gym. Is this you telling him?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and I wish we had the sound on here. We don't. But you cry.
Yep. What else
Imagine
is new?
that. You cry. So if you had a choice, and really I think the main thing is whenever I ask parents, it's healthy, right?
Right.
The first choice is I want a healthy baby. But did you want a girl, Brock?
Yes.
You did. Why?
I don't know. I just always wanted to be a girl dad.
A mini her?
Yeah, that's all I can think of is when I look at the baby, is just seeing her facial expression, seeing her all over again. So.
And if you had a choice, did you want a girl?
I was either or. I was good either way. After having Lucas, boys just have a little special place, but a girl I would be excited to have a little mini and run around with and shop with. And
then this is when you announce to the public.
Yeah.
So he gets, he finds out, this is hilarious. That is Brock, by the way. Is it a he? Or is it a she? It's a she. So you are going to have a little girl. Now it's out, April of 2024.
Yeah.
And how's your pregnancy been, by the way?
It's honestly been great. I think that's another thing we just got extremely blessed with. I mean, we've been together 4 years and we never used anything. So after our trip from St. Thomas, we were going to go for fertility testing.
I wondered.
And while we were down there, I was 8 days late and I was like, just go get a test so I can start the next day. Like, we've been through this, yada, yada. And it was positive. So it was just another blessing from God in his own time, in his own way, and just very excited.
I'm glad you just brought God into it. And I do. And this is how I end every show. I always do a devotional. Everything you've been through, right? Could you have done it without your faith?
No, not at all.
Mm-mm.
The two of you go to the crossing still, right? Which I still can't believe I haven't seen you there. We were just there. It's such a powerful place. But without faith, how would you have gotten through everything you've gotten through?
I don't think I could have.
Right. Either of you, right?
No. Mm-mm.
And again, I'll never force that on anyone, but I just truly believe that that's the greatest hope of all. And where do we go when we're in dark places? And if you're in a depressed state or you think that your life is over, if you have nothing to lean in on, I don't know, that's a truly whole nother level of loss and abandonment that you feel, that no one's there for you. Right?
Yeah. I think it's extremely important. It's helped me get to where I am. And even daily, like every morning I wake up, I do my devotion, I read. I actually, Tuesdays, I go to a Bible study men's group. So it's really good. Like it makes me happy. I really, truly enjoy the in-depth conversations, and it's just something that fulfills me.
Can you talk about, because my husband's been actually interested, but since he works, he was thinking, I told Brittany, I'm like, he has a men's Bible, but he works Tuesday mornings. What does it mean for you to have a men's Bible study?
It's just a group of guys, and it's really like in-depth conversation. Where I struggle is, I've always struggled with, just reading and comprehending something unless I have people to talk to about it. So for me, it's that community, it's the communication, it's being present and talking about God, and I think that's extremely important, is not only your personal time, but I think it's the community aspect as well. So I think for me, it's just sitting back sometimes and having that in-depth conversation and then truly understanding something maybe that I didn't know. For me, it's everything.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, again, and then before we wrap up, from the pregnancy standpoint, talk about women working out during pregnancy.
As you're safe to do, always check with your doctor, but as far as like my workouts, I'm safe to do everything I was doing before. Obviously, once you get into the second trimester, there's no more like laying flat on your back, twists, single leg drops, anything that puts too much stress on your core. But other than that, I've been lifting exactly the same, not taking down the weight at all or anything like that. It's just being a little bit more cautious of your body and more aware of how it's feeling.
And then what about your third trimester?
Third trimester, the same thing. I mean, with Lucas, I was deadlifting the day before I had him. So,
and I knew that, and here's why I'm asking that, because being so powerful, so the two of them are influencers on social media. Do you have people that lash out, why are you doing that? You're going to harm the baby. I mean, these are the things you cannot listen to all the chatter that's out there because there's so much negativity.
It's a lot of women, honestly, that are pregnant that are like, is that even safe, or questions, and which to me is refreshing because then I can inform them, it is safe and you are allowed to, and it's just knowing your body and being precautious with it.
And talking with your doctor. I mean, we can't stress that enough.
Yes.
Your doctor knows you the best. If you have any issues along, they'll say, hey, you might want to stay away from that, etc. Talk to the women that are out there that are afraid, because here they are coming to a trainer, trying to work out. And I have a client right now that's struggling with this. She's like, Monica, I've always had struggle with my weight, and here I was doing great. But then she gets the blessing after having fertility treatments.
Yeah.
She has the blessing of being told finally that they're pregnant. She's pregnant in her 40s, though. So she's got things that scare her. But what's really messing with her brain is, I'm going to be gaining weight, and I just took the weight off.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone that says that?
I mean, I struggle. I was just crying the other day because I had to pack all my quote-unquote skinny clothes away. But then it's, to me, I guess because I've already been through it, to me the postpartum of it is so beautiful because you get your body back, you get to rebuild it. I came back stronger than I ever have after I had Lucas. So to me, there's a power in coming back from it. And the power in that you're blessed to be able to birth a child. I mean, there's so many women that struggle with infertility, so I take it as a blessing.
And there's so many women who were never blessed. And that is always a struggle. It's always hard. But I will forever be your child's favorite aunt.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So again, we told you there's going to be so many things that you'll see in today's show that may fill something that you've been struggling with. So we always wrap up. I'm going to let you two choose. Do you want her to choose or you want to choose? Or you want him to choose?
You want to? You can choose.
Lucas,
He wants to choose. So he'll probably choose by color, but they are 100 Days to Freedom from Anger, 100 Days to Freedom from Shame, from Overeating, Depression, and then Fear and Anxiety.
Which one?
Those are some powerful ones. And I got this, by the way, from the Crossing in the bookstore. Yep.
Really
So which one do you want to pick? He's going to pick by color. Or you can pick by what I said. Orange.
Orange for Halloween.
Oh, depression, a powerful one. And it matches this.
Yeah.
See, he already knows fashion. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. And this is how we are going to wrap up. It is 100 Days to Freedom from Depression, Stephen Arterburn, a daily devotional. I have never been afraid to put God into the mix, and it's became a very powerful part of the show. This is how we always end it. So when we return, depression is the topic. Stay with us.
Invita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Invita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Invita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Invita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online invitahealthandwellness.com.
Welcome back, 822. I say this a lot. Please share and like and follow this every single day at 7 a.m. right here on Facebook and on YouTube. And then on Thursdays, we have a new show that we drop on all the audio podcast platforms. This show will be on that very soon. So iTunes, Spotify, etc., wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. The only way that we can affect and change the world together is by you doing just that. Let people know that this is where they should turn. Stop turning on the news. There's nothing, I'm telling you, I work there. There's nothing good about it. That's not how you should start your day. You should start your day with a devotion. You should start your day with intention. Today my word was hope, and then I did the triangle of life. Today mine was mental, spiritual, physical. You don't have to tell me to work out. So that's always there. Physical's always on the bottom of my triangle, and theirs, I can guarantee you. But then it's gratitude at the end of the day. So literally 5 words is all I'm asking you to do on a daily basis. 5 words to change your life. It's as simple as that. It really can be. And then listen to a devotional. And this one is to be in tune with our bodies. This is what Lucas chose. Good one. Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting getting along well. This is 3 John 1, verse 2. The human body is a work of art. Gosh, it's crazy that you picked this one. The artist spent intentional time designing each limb, each hair, each organ, each artery, each vein. The way the body parts function together and separately is a feat the best engineers can only attempt to achieve. After the introduction of sin in the Garden of Eden, the ability for our bodies to operate in perfection was lost. Whether it's the normal passage of time or the way in which we've treated our body, our systems will decline. Living the full life God intended will include paying attention to our bodies. Even without a medical degree, we can notice if something seems off. Some things to consider may include any unusual external changes, for instance, a bug bite, sleeping or eating more or even less, just not feeling yourself. You are the only person that knows that best, right? You need to be your own advocate. These are just a few occurrences we may notice about ourselves, but sometimes we are too close to see everything. We can also rely on those closest to us to point out where we don't seem like ourselves. Armed with observations and feedback, we can begin to explore with the right person what may be causing disharmony in our bodies. God wants us to treat our bodies well. When we care for all aspects of His masterpiece, God can use us to our fullest because we have the energy that we need for His work. When we neglect our bodies, we're not equipped to live the life that God has for us, and we can be missing out on blessings. Rick Warren said, God made your body. Jesus died for your body, and He expects you to take care of your body. William Shakespeare, our bodies are our gardens, to the which our wills are gardeners. And Thomas Fuller said, health is not valued till sickness comes. Today's prayer: Father, I thank you that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am unique by design, and your fingerprint is on me. Help me to take care of your masterwork for your glory. Amen to that.
Amen.
And Lucas, you could not have picked a better one today. That is, I really believe
That's a good
God
one.
chooses it for us on a regular basis. It's amazing every time I have someone come in. Thank you, all three, for coming in.
Thank you.
3 and an onion. I am so excited for all of you, and I'm so blessed that you came walking into my life years ago. And I just love this friendship, and there are big things to come. Please follow them online. If they want to follow you on Instagram, you want to give them your handles?
Wilson B25.
And mine is Britt Wilson, CPT.
There we go.
Force Performance STL.
Yes.
I want you to follow all of that. And if you're looking for a great place to truly belong to a community, you might want to check out stlforceperformance.com. There you go. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
And to you, thank you. Remember, I say it all the time, go out and be anything you want to be in this world. See the hope, see the possibility in yourself. Truly believe. And this, I couldn't say enough. It's literally why I walked away from television to teach this, because I knew mine and I know it for you. Know your value. But before you're anything in this world, please go out and be kind. God bless you all.